Today, Hannah and I will talk about equity and capability, an ideal approach to an imperfect economy. In this presentation, we'll discuss our definition, our own measurement, as well as other existing measurements of poverty. If you had to put a face on the issue of poverty, what would it look like? Who's considered poor? How do we decide that? Is there a solution to it? And if there is, how do we apply it? Let's start with defining some terms that we're going to use throughout the presentations. FCSU stands for food, clothing, shelter, and utility. These are basic needs for human beings. In-kind benefits are government assistance for impoverished people that employs resources instead of cash. MOOP expenses stands for medical out-of-pocket expenses, which healthcare fails to cover. Near cash benefits are the government assistance to be used as cash. SNAP is Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, a federal assistance program in the form of food stamps. And WIC stands for Special Supplemental Nutrition Program for women, infants, and children. First of all, let's answer the question, what is poverty? We define poverty as experiencing disadvantages because of a lack of access and resources for economic security. A household is considered impoverished if the total financial income, including in-kind benefits, is still not sufficient to afford the family basic FCSU needs, minus the expenses of taxes, transportation, child care, and medical out-of-pocket expenses. In his book, Poverty in America, John Iceland outlines the official poverty measurement, which establishes an absolute poverty line that equals 3 times the amount for a food budget, in accordance with the U.S. Census Bureau. It does not take into account in-kind benefits, which are public assistance programs like SNAP, WIC, housing credits, near cash benefits like tax credits, or non-discretionary expenses that are relative for different households. According to Macroeconomics by Acemoglu, Liveson, and List, Consumer Price Index helps compare the cost of buying a particular basket of consumer goods in 2 different years. Because of inflation, the consumer price index for any goods, including food, will not be the same over the time. Hence, the fact that OPM measures poverty solely based on pre-tax income and the amount of money a person spends on food is an outdated, oversimplified, and inaccurate representation of economic status. A more comprehensive approach to measuring poverty is the supplemental poverty measurement. Statistics analyzed by Kathleen Short in 2010, as well as by Trudi, Renwick, and Liana in the most recently updated data from 2015, released in September of 2016. The SPM establishes relative poverty thresholds based on FCSU, geographical location, in-kind benefits, and subtracted non-discretionary expenses, using consumer expenditure survey data updated every 5 years. We mostly agree with the measurement's level of inclusion of factors that influence poverty outside income. While we recognize that it may not sufficiently apply to individual household situations, the SPM effectively provides information for wide-scale macroeconomics understanding. Let's imagine that we have family A of 3 members, a single mom, a 10-year-old child, and a 3-year-old child. Family A lives in an urban city in South Carolina. Every day, the mother works for 8 hours and earns $9 for each hour there. Let's do a little math here. With $9 per hour, she will earn $18,720 per year, assuming that she doesn't take any sick days. However, her expenses include food, clothing, housing, and utilities, what we can refer to as FCSU, for the whole family. She also needs to take a bus to transport to and from work. Besides, her 3-year-old needs someone to take care of while the mother is working. Moreover, kids sick all the time. Hence, healthcare becomes part of their family concern. Now we'll introduce Family B, a married, undocumented Hispanic couple with no children. They live in a rural area of California, and the husband has a serious health problem that doesn't allow him to work anymore. Since the wife is also undocumented, she can only have domestic jobs. She's currently a house cleaner, earning $12 per hour. Hence, assuming that she doesn't take any sick days, their annual income is $24,960. However, they're not eligible to receive in-kind benefits. Thus, besides FCSU, they have to spend money on transportation and medical out-of-pocket expenses, since they're not eligible for disability or anything beyond emergency health care, to hopefully cure her husband's disease. With the OPM threshold of $18,871 for a family of 3 members, according to the 2015 U.S. Census Bureau, Family A's pre-tax income of $18,720 is below the poverty line. According to the SPM, Family A is above the poverty line thanks to the inclusion of resources like in-kind benefits. With the OPM threshold of $12,331 for a family of 2 members, according to the 2015 U.S. Census Bureau, Family B's pre-tax income of $24,960 is above the poverty line. Because the family is not eligible for resources included by the SPM, Family B is under the poverty line. What are capabilities? According to Martha Nussbaum and Amartya Sen, capability is the substantive freedom to achieve alternative functioning combinations. So what is the functioning? Sen outlines functionings as parts of the state of a person, or various things that they manage to do or be in leading a life. An example of this interaction would be universal health care access as a capability to ensure good health as a functioning. These 2 examples of families show the way that geographical location, race, family makeup, gender, and citizenship status impact economic status and capabilities. This capability approach seeks to establish a form of economic empowerment. While critics might favor a laissez-faire economy or limited government involvement, we need to acknowledge that capabilities that are negatively impacted by poverty directly affect the economy and infrastructure of a nation. Although the OPM gives a universal equation to calculate poverty threshold, it needs to be updated in order to thoroughly represent the modern situation. The SPM is more updated and considers more aspects of a household's life, such as healthcare, childcare, etc. However, it's still not perfect since it leaves out transportation expenses, for example. There is no perfect poverty measurement because of the complexity of the issue. The ultimate goal is to eradicate poverty. This can only happen through open dialogue between those who experience low-income situations, legislators, and the general public to reach a solution for a better future.